episode of Cowbell
Back.
podcast. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm okay, mate. It is a big, big week in the world of sport and running. Obviously, our little podcast here, we like to talk about trail and ultra running, and there happens to be just a very small event going on in Chamonix, Hoka Ultra Trail Mont Blanc, and so we are on the eve of that when we're recording this. And that is pretty damn exciting. And there's a whole bunch of other running stuff happening over the weekend up here in the Blue Mountains with our previous guest, Gavin, who we talked about the Fireys Climb. So that's happening this weekend, and I'm involved in that. And also then on Sunday, for the first time ever, the Sydney Marathon happening here in my hometown. It's the first time that it's a major. It's one of the Abbott's majors, and I'm also involved in that. So it is a big week that we're recording here, so it's good to be part of it. But Kelvin, we have a very special person that is waiting on the other end of the screen there. Who have we got this evening that we're going to be talking to?
Yeah, Dave, I'm very, very fortunate to be able to invite Cindy Chenhall. And she's a very special guest, I guess, compared to some of the guests in the past. Quickly, briefly tell her about her. So I met Cindy back in January earlier this year through one of our friends, and she's a mom. She's an ultra runner. The list is actually very long. She's a hairdresser. She owns her own salon. She's a business owner. She's an artist, and she's absolutely extraordinary. So really good to have you on our Cowbell podcast, Cindy.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, Cindy. So maybe let's start out with a really simple question, Cindy.
Okay.
When did you start running?
Okay. Running was actually such an accident to me. I don't know if anyone who's met me, I literally look like a dim sim thrown down a hallway. When I run, you laugh. It is not a joke. When I run, I joke. It's so bad. It's not even, yeah. So now how did she start running? Well, what happened was I was actually a CrossFitter to begin with, which happened in my body type. And I accidentally put a small hole in my pancreas. And so from there, I was in hospital, and from there, I couldn't lift really heavy and do that kind of style of exercise. But for so many of us, exercise is like medicine, right? So I was like, well, I'll go out walking along the beachfront, and just that's how I'll get my headspace free. Anyway, as I'm walking along, I noticed I was jogging around, people walking their dogs, and then I'd stop, and then I'd jog around, mums and prams, and then I'd stop. And then, the next day, I got jogging again around somebody, and I thought, oh, that felt okay. I jog a bit more. And then I was like, I wonder if I can make it to the petrol station and not stop. And I did. Then the next day, I wonder if I can make it to the fire station. And then the next day, the fire station and back. And then it became this huge curiosity to, well, shit, I didn't know I could run. It turns out it just kind of fell in my lap, and I fell in love with it.
That's awesome. Looking at this, a dim sim running along the street.
Just throw it down the hallway, baby, because that is exactly what it looks like, and nothing's changed. Nothing. I still look like that.
Can we make an animation of that, please, or a little cartoon of that? If you don't have that printed on a T-shirt. We've never started a podcast like this with someone describing themselves like that, and
yeah. Well, now people are going to go and Google me and be like, yeah.
So let's just backtrack a little bit, and not to dwell on it, but you just briefly touched over. You got a hole in your pancreas. Was that an injury, or was that from a previous thing?
I'm going to be honest with you. I was, as you can see, I do art, and I was at an art gallery, and I had a few of my pieces on the wall in this place, and it was this huge opening. I took all my girlfriends, and I may have drank too much and celebrated, and with the push of CrossFit style training, I just pushed too hard, and it's really just one of them things. The doctor said it's just honestly a bit of bad luck as well. It just can happen, but you can't stitch it up. It's like a jellyfish. So you have to have it cut out. And if that happened, I'd be a diabetic for the rest of my life. But it took me ages to go to the doctor. So by the time that I went, I was extremely sick. I was unbelievably sick. And I just thought I had the flu. So I was trying to sleep it off, and it was bad. By the time we got there, he was like, Jesus Christ, you're like, shit, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, your internal like organs are getting trashed by all of this like toxic fluid leaking out of your pancreas. He was like, this is so bad. And I was like, oh, I think I'm getting better. And he's like, get to the hospital. So I get to the hospital, and they're like, because you took so long coming in, your body started healing the hole. So rather than take the pancreas out and change your life forever, maybe we'll do a blood test every, couple of days to make sure your levels are balancing out, and your body could heal it up and you'll be good as new. And that's exactly what happened.
There you go.
I know.
That's quite the story. So
Can't wait to dim sim, man.
A hole in the pancreas, a running dim sim, and then you discovered you can run.
Turns out she can run.
It's a bit like Kelvin's story. He just started running because he couldn't work something out because he couldn't walk everywhere.
Yeah,
right.
Really coincident. So when was it, Cindy? Like, so that was it before you had kids, or?
Yeah, so no, I had kids already. I had two.
Okay, yeah.
That I know of. No, I'm joking. They were in school. I know. They were in school, and I was really lucky that when we realized it was quite life-threatening, like the doctor had said to my family, like, you're lucky you didn't find her just cactus and cooked in bed one day, because that was really, really dangerous. But, it comes back down to like ultra running. How bad is too bad? When it's yourself, you're like, nah, I can keep going, or nah, I'm not that bad. And that's just what happened. I thought I had the flu, and I thought I could just sleep it off, but you can't. You can heal it though.
Yeah. Wow. That's a start to a podcast. There you go.
And then you
start. You get. Ask for Sindog to come on. That's what you get.
So I guess so that's how you get into running. And was it a trail when you start? Like, you're probably not into trail running just yet, right? Like sort of like road running. So what is a turning point in it? Like so at what point you become, wow, I can run a lot more than what you could imagine, right? Like and you start running the trail. Like how was that turning point like?
It started really small. Like, I've got this mate, Clint Cooper, who's an absolute beast out on the trails. I actually call him Quadzilla. He's insane. And he is. And he was a trail runner, and I was just running that beach line, just like flat.
Yep.
And then he said to me, come out on the trails. And I sort of ran a little bit, but really not much. And then he got me when he said, why don't you come and do the, the Sharpies beer run up at Arthur's Seat?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he goes, there's beer at the aid stations. And I was like, fucking sold. So I went and did that. It was like 10 kilometers. And I was running up a bit of a hill, and I was on that hill, and I'm looking up, and I'm in so much pain because obviously I'm gassed, and I don't even know how to train for these kinds of things. My lungs are screaming at me. It was 10 kilometers. I'm so embarrassed. But I'm looking up, and whilst I'm in that pain and looking up, I'm gunning it. Like, I'm wanting to run. Like, this whole like flame ignited in me of like, oh shit, this is my thing. Like, this is tough, and it's gritty, and I'm grabbing the ground, and I'm going, and it hurts, and I bloody love it. And that was it.
Yeah.
From then, I just continued to do more with Clint, who he then became like a brother from another mother and did the Great Southern Endurance Run with me. Big shout out to Matt and Megan. They are incredible race directors. And that was my first ultra. And he surprised me on the start line and just showed up, which was really lucky because I thought I was going to die.
Also, he didn't tell you, Cindy?
No, he didn't tell me, which later I found out, which this is just the type of person Clint is. He didn't want to say to me, I'm going to be there with you, you're going to be okay, because he wanted me to show up on my own back to know that I was going to stand on that start line solo and try to achieve this first time ultra. So he gave me that gift to know I still had the guts to stand there alone.
Yep.
And then when he showed up, I cried because Matt and Megan have the footage, but I cried because I thought, oh my God, I might not die out here today if I've got Clint with me. And we made it. It took 14 hours and it was the best 14 hours ever.
Yeah, awesome. And that's what distance? 50K, is it?
56 with about, our watches say 4,000 elevation, and the weather was bloody hectic that year. There was snow caps, there was lightning storm, thunderstorm. It was hectic.
I've got it right here. It's, what is it? 11,286 feet. Yes, 56 Ks, and that was back in 22. So, because you had done the 28K back in 21, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
So, but this was a big step up. Like, this was the step up to the ultra.
Yeah, because Clint said, you know, I got to tell you something. I think that you can do it. And I was like, you're a psychopath. And then he was like, no, I think you're tough enough to do an ultra. And then, because he knows me, I'm curious, like, am I tough enough to do an ultra? And then it turns out I am.
Is it that curiosity, and is it that grit? You'd mentioned that before when you were grabbing the ground, and is that through your whole life? Is that through your art? Is that through your business? Is that through everything? Is that what gets Cindy through her day?
I think it's a lot of me, to be honest. Like my entire life, people notice me do things and I won't just do it. I'll fucking do it. I won't just do it. I'll get it. I'll get after it hard. And I think it's just in my DNA to strive harder, because nothing actually comes naturally to me. Nothing has been for free. Everything has been worked for, and nothing's a fluke. If you want it bad enough and you want it more than the guy beside you, you're just going to work harder. He'll do 10 hours, I'll do 15 hours. And that's just how I'm built, I think. I'm a little bit of a nutcase, and I think to be an ultra runner, you kind of need a little psycho in you.
Oh, we're all a bit special. We're all a bit special.
Yes.
But I sense that, and and even a slight change of tone in your voice there, Cindy, was there's that passion and there's that grit, and I doing a bit of research, and you got your some of your results up here. It doesn't matter how you did it, but you fucking did it, right? Okay.
I can't, because I'll show you I can, and I'll do it twice.
That's very admirable, and particularly, not coming from that background, and obviously, and you're right. There are people out there that are built to do this stuff. They're naturally gifted. They're built. They wake up. They get out of bed in the morning. They throw the doona off, and they put the shoes on, and they just go. Whereas, and that's what I love about what we're talking about here with these incredible humans that we keep bringing to the microphone, is that you don't have to be built the same. You don't have to have the same DNA. A little bit of grit and a little bit of passion, a little bit of drive can get you to the same place and the same result.
That's right.
Just different.
Yeah, exactly. Dim Sims can make it too.
Oh, I cannot wait. Sorry, we're going to keep coming back to this, but I cannot wait, Kelvin. You have to.
I need a t-shirt with a big Dim Sim on it that says Kingdom.
There has to. I think when we put this out, you have to do a picture of a running dim sim. There has to be.
Oh, please.
We can definitely do that. So tell us, Cindy, like now, so you have done your first ultra, right? And what were you thinking when you passed the finish line? Were you thinking, this is it, like this, it was so hard, like 14 hours, like it's not easy, 14 hours. When you now look back at 40 hours, oh, but obviously first ultra, like you can never forget. What were you thinking, like is this stuff like really your immediately like aiming at, hey, I'm gonna look at another longer run, bigger race? What were you thinking?
Well,
like
yeah, I can remember this so clearly because it was first, and I really wasn't sure what I could do. I really wasn't. I was like, shit, I really hope I can make this happen, because it's not just my race. Like, I had my young children at the finish line, and I've got a daughter, and I want her to know you literally can do anything, and you don't have to fit the cookie cutter of what you're supposed to look like, guided by society. I wanted to show my son what to look for in a woman one day. And so when I was coming down, I was just like, first of all, I could not believe, because never one time in the whole race did I think, shit, I don't know if I'm going to make this. Like, my body's cooked. Not one time did my brain disappoint me. I cried, yeah, for sure. I got blisters. I lost a shoe in the swampy mud, and I was like, I need gumboots out here. Like, it was so bad. But I was proud, because not one time did my brain or my heart disappoint me. And that is a person I can look at in the mirror in the morning. That's someone I can respect. And then when I looked down the finish line and I could see, Kelvin, I've sent you this photo of us finishing this race, but I could see my kids' faces, and they were looking at me, sincerely, they were looking at me like, holy shit, that's our mum. Like, our mum we watched her, they crewed me, and it was snowing, and they were patching me up and filling me with water, and for 14 hours, they saw, and they were driving through everywhere, so they saw these cliff tops and pointing over there, she's going to go all the way over there. And then to get to the end in the dark, having the runway lined with fairy lights and people cheering, and it's just Clint and I running to the finish line, I can't actually believe we've pulled it off. But seeing my children's faces was literally the championship. My daughter had water in her eyes, and she hugged me, and she was like, I cannot believe I just saw you do that. That my mum can do anything. And my son was speechless. He was just like, Jesus, Mum, you are so strong. I can't believe you made it to us at the finish line. And that they will take through their entire life. And that is what matters.
So good.
This passion that you are so vividly expressing right now is the essence of what we're trying to bring out of people. So thank you. You're making this this very exhilarating, because and the messaging there, like your kids, the determination and everything that goes with that, and the cookie cutter thing that you mentioned as well. I think too often these days, we are obviously, and we could go down this rabbit hole, but we are trying to conform and do things like this. But it's doing it for yourself. It's proving it to that, but it's proving it to others around you. But it's also then the impact that has on those people around you. So I'm just wanting to bring this back again to you as a person and in your daily life. How do you approach that with your business and your art?
Yeah, so as in, like, how do I fit it in?
Well, there's that, but it's also this same
passion.
The same Cindyism, I'm going to call it. the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I can imagine you've got a client there, you're doing someone's hair, and you're talking to them exactly how you're talking to us now. And
Absolutely.
And man, if that was the kind of energy that was coming, like being exuded from the hairdresser that I had, I'd want to go back every single time.
Cut your hair, mate. I'll cut your hair. Yeah, that's right.
But that's what I'm getting at is it's that drive. It's there.
Yeah. As I said, I do think it's been in me for a long time. Like, I remember my dad telling me, you can't play football, you know, girls aren't allowed. And so I became the water girl. I was going to get on that field. So for that whole season, I ran water out back and forth. Don't tell me I can't be on that field. I'll be on that field. And it may not look like what it's supposed to look like in my mind, but my feet are on the same grass that those boys' feet are on. And so it's just in me since I was young. But with my salon, these people do matter, and I do give them my heart, and, you know, you get to learn these people. So I absolutely am like this in general. You can ask anybody. It's a lot to deal with. But also with my art, when my customers come to me, I take it personally when you place an order. I will make decisions, and if I think that the art needs to be altered, determined on our conversations and what I think is going to fit you and your home, I'll make those decisions. But you have to be confident within yourself as an artist to know that you can pull that off. And that confidence comes from completing ultra marathons and going, no, I absolutely can do this. And they're going to believe that I can do this because I know I can do this.
And so then the art that you do, and I'll get you to explain that for people, like, how does that translate with the ultra running? I mean, obviously it's a very different headspace.
It is a different headspace. I suppose it's a really beautiful balance, because when I'm in the art room and that door there is closed, no one comes in because I'm always filming, and it's peaceful, and you can't think about your problems in life. You can't think about your to-do list. You're so engulfed in these surfboards that I make, or whatever order someone's made. You got to pour a little bit of yourself in there, and it's not a hassle, and it's not a you're taking from me. It's a let me give you some expression of me that you can have, because art is a once-off. I can't create the same thing that I created for somebody else. The movement of the resin is like honey, and you move with it, I suppose. So it clears my mind out, I suppose, and lets me just think of whatever I'm creating, which is such a beautiful balance to ultra marathon running, where I'm problem solving all the time. Which, when I'm bombing down Arthur's Seat, which rock am I going to land on that's not going to roll my ankle? Like, I'm problem solving all the time. Which direction am I going in? Or what kangaroo am I going to knock out that's on my path? You know? It's a good balance.
Is it like, Cindy, is it like people call it flow state? Like, kind of like flow state? Like you really just...
flow state?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. I wish I had a piece to show you right now, but everything's sold. It sounds like everything's sold.
We'll definitely put a link to your Instagram page, because but honestly, I was just off air. I was just chatting to Kelvin there beforehand. I was on your Insta again, and some of the resin art that you do, and whether it be surfboards or whether it be coffee tables or do you call it dipping, where you put like the cutting boards or whatever it might be? I mean, you describe it. You describe it. You tell us. I'm not doing it very good, but what I'm getting at is it is very emotive. I like what you just said there. I like what you just said. Is no piece is different because the resin moves differently, and that's the same with ultra running, right? So exactly. I love that. So can you please put me out of my misery and do a way better job of explaining what you do, but then to Kelvin's question as well.
All I'm saying is I love this of you in your misery. I was not going to cut in there at all.
It's all right.
No, we do not call it dipping. We don't dip anything, okay? It's like if you imagine you had 5 jars and each one had honey in it, and every jar was a different color. Your job is to make sure every color complements the color that it's next to. At the same time, you want to move and manipulate the art with either air, fire, or gravity. But on top of that, you have 1 hour to do it because it will solidify and grow a skin, and then you're in trouble. But before you even begin, the chemistry has to be on point. If your ratios are out, whether it's 1-to-1 or 2-to-1, you're screwed and you're fired.
And where did you learn? And where did you learn all this, Cindy?
Well, that's a funny story also.
Pancreas and a dim sim.
You can actually dim sim walking out to her back shed. The kids were quite young. Like, I had a toddler and almost a newborn. I think Haida was about 6 months old. And I felt like I was just either working, cleaning, being a mum, and I was losing myself a little bit. And I could recognize that. So I thought I would just sign off a bit in the brain and create with art. And so I would get the baby monitor, I'd stick it to my front so I could hear and see the kids. I'd go out to the back shed and I jumped online and I bought myself some resin. No idea what I'm doing, none. And I started to teach myself the chemistry behind building up this resin. And I worked out a lot of mistakes. It was not a fluke at all. I definitely made a lot of errors. I didn't know you had to put fire on it until I did find out. And then I almost blew my fucking eyebrows off my head. If you put the fire on for too long, it's going to blow up. And now we know, you know? I was a child dim sim.
I was going to say it, but you went there yourself, so well done.
I'm here for it. I did.
So self-taught is basically, I mean, this came about, shall we say, as almost therapy or almost as an escape or almost as a chance to re-find yourself, as you've just said. And that was from early on. And it's incredible that you identified this as an art form. Obviously, it's not particularly resin and things like this is probably not per people's first thing. It's painting or drawing or whatever it might be. But so you've tapped into that as a way of, I mean, you're in that period, you've got young children, you're not feeling like Cindy, you're not feeling yourself. So again, like pretty empowering to
Yeah, it's important because exactly what you're saying, like if, you know, and every mum that's listening to this is nodding because they're going to understand when you have such small children and your whole being is wiping a little vomit off of you and feeding and snot and bath time, and that's all amazing, and motherhood is honestly glorious. But at the same time, if you don't take care of yourself and your own mental state, it takes courage to recognize it and do something about it. So I couldn't run at that time, right? So my outlet to be a better mum, be a better wife at the time, be a better anything was to look after me too. And a lot of people forget that you also are a human. And that's where running comes into a lot of people's lives. I have to remind myself that I'm strong, capable, fit, healthy, and a person. And it can save a lot of lives running, I reckon.
Everything you said would be awesome on a t-shirt, and I couldn't agree more. I love that. I love that you've just straight away you've identified that, and it is a powerful message, and all kudos to you, and you're a champion voice for this, Cindy. I mean, I'm loving all of this because there's fire, there's passion, there's drive, there's and I can see that when I'm looking at your artwork online. I can see that when you're talking about your kids. I can see that when you're talking about how that you apply yourself to that. And these are all the things is exactly why we love talking to extraordinary people like your good self that takes us on this journey. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's not over yet, by the way.
It's not over yet.
We could wrap it right now. Just kidding.
Yeah, I must resonate to what Dave said. I think what I really like from what you told us, Cindy, is that you have the mindset of give it a go. Like, you know, like if not because of you give it a go to try running, like you wouldn't know that you're actually an ultra runner, right? If you didn't try give it a go to try the art, like you wouldn't build such a successful business. I think having that mindset of give it a go, like what else? I mean, you have nothing to lose, right?
Well, that's the motto. You don't have anything to lose. Like, you don't know unless you know. So, you know, dig deep and get curious, people.
There's another slogan. There's another t-shirt slogan. How good is that? We should be the slogans getting dropped everywhere.
I can't wait for everyone to be wearing Jim Sims on their shirt.
No, they're going to start that movement for sure. But it's like that too. I mean, I think I've mentioned it before. There's a teacher at my daughter's high school, and he's the sports teacher, and he's very passionate what he's doing. And his slogan is "Get on the bus." And it's like to what you're saying there, Kelvin. It's like give it a go. There's no harm in trying. There's no harm in working it out. And Cindy, you've 100% demonstrated that with everything that you've done and applied it. But it's the reason behind that as well. There's a way of giving it a go and doing things that challenge you. But I went away on the weekend and I was with a couple of mates, and sometimes I was just wondering whether their risk analysis or their risk adverse spreadsheets were coming out, because what we were doing was not risky, but it was challenging. And so they were constantly thinking about, oh, this is all too hard. When it's like, but that's just part of it. Give it a go.
That's right. Give it a go. And like, honestly, just trust your body to do the right thing for you. You know, like I think it's okay to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. We're 100%. So satisfied at being okay and mediocre and getting through to the next day. But it's actually okay to, sometimes when I am, you know, if I'm really bombing down a section, and it may be a section I've never been on before, and it is a little scary, and I'll pull the brakes up, but then I'll say, this little like nutcase in my head will say, trust your feet, just roll it down, like let gravity take you, baby. This is the fun bit. And before you know it, I am cruising down. I just have to trust. You can't analyze absolutely everything. You have to trust that your ankles are strong because you did the work. Your body can do it. Your eyes are going to see the problems and solve it. Just let it go and go for it.
Your center of gravity might be a little bit closer to the ground than mine. But...
I'm 5 foot nothing if I stretch my neck out, is all I'm saying.
Awesome. And then so now you're really deep into trail running, ultra running, Cindy. So tell us about your running friends, like your running tribe, like how important they are, how they influence your running journey. Tell us.
My running tribe are phenomenal. Like, these women, you want to talk about inspiring? Like, these women are absolute weapons, and you don't have to be like too harsh to be a weapon. These women are gorgeous, and they right from the heart. Like, when we run, we go through everything together. We cry, we crack the shits, we bitch, we do everything. But what we do is we stay together and we do womanhood together, and we're all raising children, and we meet up every single week. And I'm pretty sure I speak to these women every single day. Only today I was writing like, Jesus Christ, it's 17 days until my first attempt at 100. And straight away they're like, you have got this, you fucking did the work. Like, they've got my back every day of the week. And there is nothing I wouldn't do for these women. And I found them all out on the trails, and they're all courageous and strong, and they all have tenacity, and I respect every one of them.
I'm loving this.
Loves the gym sim.
These are some wicked mantras. So have you got a
Stop it. What?
No. Have you got a name for the group? Have you got a name for the group? Because I'm thinking.
We are called the Trail Tribe,
right.
But we're idiots, and we made our little group chat the S Club 7 because we're old. And we love it. Yeah. So we're the tribe.
The tribe.
The tribe. Watch out, tribe's coming.
And how many are in this tribe?
There's 7, and I do have all their names. I wrote it down because I was like, okay, can I name them all?
Why not?
Yeah.
So we've got AC Stacy. We've got Julia, who we nicknamed 2020 because she's got the best vision of all of us. We've got Nadia, who's Nard Dog, and she's just bloody gifted. She doesn't sweat. She's like a gazelle. We've got Emma, who is like a tall glass of water. She's amazing. Charlotte is savage and also mountain bike rides. And we've got Liz, who is one of the strongest women we've all met.
Wow.
What's her nickname?
I just call her Liz, mate. Liz is enough. She's enough on her own. We just call her Liz.
This is like the menu in a restaurant when you order your dim sims and they're all the different flavors, right? So and your sin dog and they're all the different flavors, and this is what you get when you order.
Yep.
What are we saying? The S Club 7 or the Trail Tribe?
If you want the tribe, mate, you've got the whole flavor of the what's it called? The menu. You got the whole flavor.
You get the whole delicacy. You get the whole smorgasbord right there.
Right.
How incredible is that? You found your people that are all like-minded, all a little bit cray-cray, but in a good way.
Yeah.
And you're all out there supporting each other, and that bond is not just as it extends way further than just the trails. It extends into your everyday life. And how important is that? What an incredible message to have your tribe. They're your inner circle. They're the people that you turn to, that you can trust with everything. They'll have your back and they're right there for you. This just gets better and better.
Incredible as well, because not only are we all doing life together, we do weekends away together with and without family. And we also will escape to like the Blue Mountains. There was like 4 of us that just got in a cabin and digged around the mountains all bloody weekend. It was great. It's really making memories with people that when I'm 90 in my rocking chair, let's be honest, I'll be 100. I remember these women who did motherhood and womanhood with me, and there is nothing you can't do when you do it together. It's tribe.
And it's powerful because you're doing it as a group of women that is also, as I just said, supporting, trusting, working together, and that you'll have your backs forever and those lifelong friendships. This is extraordinary.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you.
So Cindy, like you just mentioned before, like you are about to embark one of your most, I guess, ambitious race ever, like the 100K at Surf Coast Century. Like, I think this is a very special race, Cindy. Like, do you mind tell us a little bit about this race?
Well, I never would have in a million years thought this little donut could run 100 kilometers. Like, have you seen my drumsticks? Dudes, that's so far. It's so far. Like, no way did I think, I would never be so arrogant to suggest I could run 100 kilometers. And it actually was my little brother, Neil, who spurred me to do this. And I wanted to do something that impacted him. And I couldn't think of anything more inspiring than that. So he's my biggest cheerleader. He always talks about his big sister and her races, and I hear from his carers, you know, if I hear anything else about your race, I'm gonna shoot myself, right? Talks about it all the time. And he was having a really hard time, and I could see him struggling, and he was in, a rock and a hard place, I suppose. And I just said to him, man, you know, you look like, I was putting him into bed and he was exhausted. And I said, you look like what I look like after a marathon. You're exhausted. And he's like, yeah, you know, and he never complains. And I said, the difference is you don't get the glory of the finish line. You're always just doing a marathon a day and getting nothing for it. He's like, yeah, I know. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to run 100 kilometers and it's going to be yours. I'm going to run 100 kilometers, and you want to do tough? I'll do tough right beside you. And it won't be one day. I'll train all bloody year. I'll train in the rain. I'll train at 5 a.m. I'll train in the dark. And it's going to be yours. Like, this training, it's going to be yours. And at the finish line, 50 meters from the finish line, I was going to get him in his wheelchair and run him under that finish line so that he had that moment of the crowd cheering for him the whole way. And he felt the comradeship and the love of a trail. Like, he felt the bumps of the trail in his wheelchair. This one was going to be his for sure. And so I told him he was my head coach and that I couldn't do it without him. And when I said to him, that's it, I'm running 100 kilometers, he just said, oh, you're going to die. and I was like, probably, but we'll see. And, you know, and he made me a sign.
Hey.
For Cindy, coloured it in and everything. But unfortunately, Neil can't be there, sadly, to the finish line. So, you know, he was obviously devastated. We all were so devastated. But I said to him, do not worry. I'm going to find a way to get you under that finish line. So I went and made a T-shirt, and it says, finish line for Neil, 100.
There you go.
And so then when I said I was wearing this T-shirt, and I was, you know, I was crying with my tribe, and I was like, I can't believe he's not going to be there. Like, I wanted to inspire him and give him something to be fiery about and, you know, believe he can do something better. I couldn't believe he couldn't be there. And I'm saying, I'm going to wear this T-shirt. And all of those girls said, we will wear that T-shirt as well at the finish line. And then it spilled out into other people talking about it. And now I have about 40 people wearing this T-shirt at my finish line. And then I'm going to get a photo and I'm going to give it to Neil. And he's going to see this humongous trail community that don't even know him, that are backing him. And he's going to see he matters.
So this is for the 100 that in a couple, what, you got 3 or 4 weeks away till the event?
Like, me is 17 days away.
Sorry, I can't keep up with how many events are on at the moment. So it's 17 days from when we're recording this. Now, just to also recap, so yeah, your little brother Neil, he's got a disability, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Is this something that he's lived with his whole life, or is this something that's recent? And then, is there ways that, you know, we can get behind Neil?
He was born like this, and, you know, growing up with Neil since I was young, I have seen his frustrations, and I think that's why, you know, I don't know what got into me, just looking at him in that bed and then, you know, doing life with him. It was his turn. This was going to be his win, you know, this was for him. And he has grown up with epilepsy, cerebral palsy, he's legally blind, you know, some of his brain's blank. He's a bit of a bitzer. He's got a bit of everything. So the way you can get behind him is finding out about these things, you know, educating yourself because a lot of us do dig our head in the sand because it's easier and you've got your own problems and all that kind of stuff. But there are so many families out there with blind children that can't afford the necessary equipment in their home to make life more achievable for these kids. And it's one thing to take a baby home that's blind and you slowly grow in your home with that. But imagine if your 12-year-old child got a stick in the eye at school and he came home and now he's blind or legally blind, whatever. And these parents now are like, crap, how do we fit our home out to make quality of life for this person? And it's more help in the homes of the families is where our donations and monies are going.
Wow. So Cindy, like, I think, yeah, thank you so much, like sharing the story, for Neil, and I think yeah, I think a lot of us will be supporting you to finish the surf course, and I'll be also the one who'll be wearing the top.
You are the teacher.
Yeah. No, I mean it's incredible, Cindy. I think like it's absolutely inspiring. Your story, your journey, and everything like you said, everything you do, like just I think you become almost I think can be a role model to a lot of people out there. Like nothing is impossible, right?
100%, and it's selfless. And that's probably a good way to everything that you've described in our chat it's a selfless approach, Cindy, and that is very admirable, because you give and like you've already touched on, a lot of people give so much in their life, but it's worth giving because of obviously there's things around us that are worth doing that. But what you've described to us today is incredibly selfless. So congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
And Cindy, like I think you probably a big fans of Cowbell podcast, Cindy. And you probably know, like every episode we always ask our guests, what is the Cowbell moment? So tell us, Cindy, like you can have more than one. Every guest asks, hey, Kevin, Dave can have more than one. You definitely can have more than one.
I've probably got millions, but I think if I had to choose one cowbell moment, it has to be when I was competing up at UTA last year, and it was a 50-kilometer ultra, and I was so excited because I'd flown out to be there and I'd done all this training. And 17 kilometers in, I took a dive. I hit the dirt hard. I was lucky I didn't take some teeth out, honestly. And I really badly hurt my ankle, and it was excruciating. And I'm the kind of gal, you can hit me hard, man. I can take it. I take a lot of pain and I'll do it with a smile on my face. But this was something different. This hurt in a way that I cannot even explain to you. And I grabbed my ankle and I'm like, no, it's 17 kilometers in on a 50-kilometer race in the Blue Mountains. Like, how can this be happening? There's no way. Like, I promised my kids when I flew out that I'd be bringing home a medal for them, and that is what I intend on doing. So I crawled off the trail a little bit, and my old friend Julia, 2020, was there with me, and she helped me, and we put on this like sock ankle brace thing that was just a compression, I suppose, that I happened to this one time pack. I've never packed one before. I don't know why I did it, but I packed it. Thank God. And I'm thinking, I've just rolled my ankle. Like, don't panic. I was more panicked about my Strava watch going off and me not getting math. I was more worried about missing my math, if I'm honest. So I was like, in my head, this is where the mental toughness is my wild card. I was telling myself and convincing my head, you just rolled it. Get up on your feet. You're fine. You rolled your ankle. Get to the next aid station. That's all I ask of you. The next aid station was 10 kilometers away. So I said to Julia, we're going to the next aid station. She's like, Jesus fucking Christ, are you okay? And we run, and she runs side by side. and we run to the next aid station. She's fueling up for us both. I go to the medic tent. I sit down and the lady gets down and she goes, well, I mean, there's a lot of tissue damage here. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't look that bad.
It's just like a basketball. It's fine.
Swelling over the cuff of your shoe. And as picking it off, it was getting purpler towards my toes.
Oh, that's the worst thing you could have done. Put your shoes on.
She goes, I'm so sorry. I advise you to go no further. And I said, oh, what did you just say to me? She goes, I'm so sorry. There is so much tissue damage and you're only, 27 kilometers in. It's a lot of hard work coming up those 3 sisters. I'm so sorry. I advise you to pull from the race. And I was like, listen, Jesus, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to strap that up because I'm going back out. And she goes, are you going to keep running? And I said, yeah, can you please strap it in? And I'm going out. And she just goes, okay. So she does a little strappy strap and I get out there and I tell Julia it's fine. And I just keep running. The problem is the pain was so bad. I didn't know another way to deal with it. And I wasn't really telling my mate because I didn't want her experience in the mountains to just be whining sin dog over here that's rolled her ankle. So I was chewing the inside of my cheek, trying to just right? And I had this flap of my cheek because I was just like, oh, the pain. And I'm really feeling it in the Achilles. And I'm thinking, oh, it's just jolted it. I don't fucking know, right? So as we're going up the 3 sisters, there's a picture of me, which I will send to you, and it's all over my face. I'm just grinding the teeth. I look at the camera guy and he says to me, give us a smile. I'm like, what off? So anyway, because I don't actually know. Have you rolled it or have you damaged it? I still don't know. What I can tell you is that as we got to the 40-kilometer mark, when you want to vomit and all that fluid comes in your mouth, you're gonna vomit, right? I was just feeling so sick. I was struggling to eat. I still had 20/20 beside me, so I'd be okay. And we get running and I can hear cowbells. And I go to Julia, holy shit, are we going to make this? I think I just signed off it in my head a bit and just dumbed out some Ks. And she's like, we're nearly there, run. And I just start running because I'm thinking, if I don't get to this finish line, I got to get weight off my foot. I got to get there. So I start running and she's running and we actually get it done. We actually finish this this ultra 50K marathon. Well, I can't even fathom it. But then we look at our watch and it says to us that we've done 49 kilometers. Well, we were
Gotta go running around the car park.
So we went to the car park and we did it together. Slow as shit. We didn't care. And we get back to the cabin and the next day, I'm not even really looking at my foot. They're icing it and they're like, oh, it's pretty bad. The next day, my mate Greg had it up on you guys might know him, Greg Pillar. And he's like, Jesus, Cindy, this is bad. It's black and you need to see someone about that. So I get home, I go to the doctor, and you ain't going to believe what I did to my foot. I literally blow out 2 ligaments. One of those ligaments is attached to my ankle bone, and it ripped off a fragment of my bone that was now floating in my foot, and I fractured up my Achilles. So as I'm going up those stairs, I'm just like, just do it, Cindy. Just do it. And so when I learned that, the doctor, who's a foot specialist, was just like, I can't explain how you've done this anymore, and you would have just torn completely. This is crazy that you were just on a tether. I had scans done, ultrasounds and x-rays to see the ligaments and the bone, and that's how we know. But he's like, how? It's just hanging by a thread. How you did all that? He's like, I actually cannot explain it. So my cowbell moment is realizing what I had done, doing it anyway, and really finding and meeting a new version of myself. And let me tell you something, I fucking like that person. I like her a lot. And so that was my Cowbell moment to be like, holy shit, it can be, the heart wants it bad enough. You can do it. And that was the moment.
Wow.
To try and sum that up, and you just said it there, that you found the version of you, and listening to you describe that. And look, some people might think that's crazy. Some people might think that's ludicrous and irresponsible.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter it doesn't matter though, because you found you in that moment. You did it for you, as you said earlier. You did it. You're doing it for you and no one else. Okay. Yeah. So while someone might look at that and go, oh, that's a bit wild, that's a bit extreme, and have all those reactions and those risk-adverse reactions that I'm talking about, right? Like, in that moment, doesn't matter. You're doing it for you. And that comes back to me where there's a selflessness in there, because there's a selflessness that is, while you're selfless because you're doing these things for your brother and you're doing these things for your tribe and your family, but at the same time, there's a determination to do it for you. But what I love about all this, and this is the word that I think will sum all of this up, you are being authentic. You are being true to yourself. You're being authentic, and there's no filter. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. We got there in the end.
No filter.
No filter, raw, and that comes out in your art. It comes out in what you do and your personality. So thank you, Cindy, because
welcome.
There's a real realism. There's a real person there. There's an authentic person, and we're hearing that tonight, and that is so refreshing.
Thank you. It's just it's good to be a part of this and to let people know to don't be afraid to show up for yourself. Don't be afraid to talk how, people think is appropriate. Just be who the hell you are.
100%, Cindy. I think last thing I want to say, I think just to let all the listeners know, I think how nervous you were before come on this podcast, right? We almost have a rehearsal, and then we have a list of questions. Honestly, now I don't think
don't give it away, Kelvin, don't give it away.
Well, we didn't actually. We only touched on one question,
so
right? That's exactly.
Well, I was nervous because I am so aware that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I won't bend myself to make you comfortable. So I was nervous because this is your podcast, and I'm like, I hope I'm not a total embarrassment.
No, this is the best.
It does, as we've just said, doesn't matter. It totally doesn't matter. And you know what? If people start listening and they don't listen through to the end, that's their problem, not yours, not ours. And so, and like Kelvin and I were talking about it before as well, is like, I had a picture and an essence of and a concept of exactly what we were trying to discuss, or to not even discuss, but to learn about you this evening, and we've got that and tons more, and I couldn't be more ecstatic to do that. So well done. Make sure, and we will, there's a lot of things in here that we want to sort of bring into people and bring into people's ears and eyes, with your art, with what you do in the community down there, but also with your journey with the Surf Coast Century. So we will definitely put that in all of the notes, and when it goes out on Spotify there, but please share all of that with us. And I
will.
You've got some fans now, that's for sure.
One last thing, Cindy, before you go. I'm hoping your next Cowbell moment should be less painful, a little bit less painful.
Right? All right, I know, it's crazy how that most painful moment in my life actually helped me discover my worth as a person, and I could look in the mirror and respect who I'm looking back at, and that's priceless. I don't know how many of us can actually go, no, you're okay, you know. So that was really nice, and I really do believe, I truly do believe that these things that happen to us, whether it's pain or something else, they're not there to destroy us or break us. They're actually designed and put there so that we have a chance to discover our strength. And without that agony and pain coming through the blue mountains, I wouldn't have recognized and met a whole new version to myself that I happen to like. So it matters.
Awesome. That's the best closing speech, Cindy.
Is that on the t-shirt? Stop it. Stop it.
All right. All right. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.